So I just woke up, and that's okay, because I woke up with quite a revelation. I feel like, remember in Aladdin, remember when the genie's like, I'm free at last. That's fucking me right now. Big changes, very unexpected, but wanted to share with you all that I'm taking a short little sabbatical for, not even a sabbatical because I'm not even in school right now, but I will be very soon. Be back working on my PhD that I let go of such a long time ago, and well, not a long time ago, but a few years ago. And yeah, I have had the opportunity for the first time in my life to really, I mean, I made the opportunity. I applied and I sent in samples and they said they loved it, and I haven't been able to follow through on this big dream job of mine. I mean, I've always been an overly ambitious person, right? So, I mean, I like dance, so I won an international dance competition. Um, I love Reiki. I love all these things I naturally picked up, and I became, one of the top Reiki providers in LA and the top 4% of all service providers on companies like Thumbtack. So I rocked out and kicked ass there. I've employed and hired and contracted a lot of my friends, a lot of single moms, a lot of working women. Like, these things mean a lot to me. I've been on the board of directors for nonprofits, and I've created grants and opportunities and money for people who I wanted to give those opportunities to, without realizing that I was doing all these things while just not being, I mean, I've been happy. Don't get me wrong, I've been happy. I have amazing friends, and I have a wonderful career and a life, and I've been solidly independent for over a decade, living alone, working alone, making shit work, and only doing what I love, and that's been amazing. And okay, sorry, my hair's all crazy. Can I do that? Did that make it worse? Maybe it did. I don't care. Anyway, and I've been a published writer. I've been a columnist. I've been a contributing writer. I've written for magazines and newspapers, and I even published my dad's life work. And now, I mean, it sounds crazy, but my big dream, even though I've been in social emotional arts. I've been doing world performance art education, which I rocked out, and I've been doing, professional development at museums like the Skirball Museum. I've been doing dance classes and social emotional arts for organizations like A Window Between Worlds, dealing with, survivors of everything. And this whole time, while taking care of everyone and myself and being in this whirlwind of life, teaching and performing in 14 countries, doing all this shit, just doing. It's very, very difficult for me to enjoy it fully. It was very difficult for me to enjoy it fully until now, because I've been really battling secretly, and I didn't want to tell anyone, and I'm going to get really emotional, but I've been battling this whole time, trauma, PTSD, depression, things that I thought that I didn't have anymore, but you don't know that you have it until you're completely out of it. I thought I had gotten over certain things in my mid-20s, but now at 33, I'm like, wow, I think I finally am okay. And I didn't know that I wasn't okay until I really was, and I'm like, holy shit, just 3 weeks ago, I was still in that victim container. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have all experienced things. I mean, my uncle blew his brains out, and I had to clean that up. I mean, my dad died, and then during that time, I broke my tailbone, lost my job, won an international dance competition with a broken tailbone. I was pregnant at the time. My then fiance cheated on me, lost the baby. All this crazy shit happened, and just, mama issues, all these things. And I realized that about 10 years ago, I had to start my life over from scratch, being a very family-oriented person to doing everything alone. And I was good with it, because I knew that, I just had to learn to love myself enough to not want to be in that environment or put my children in that environment, or, I didn't want to be in that space. And so it was we took the strange out of estrangement, and it was a mutual detachment. But there was a lot of gunk and issues and trauma and a lot of projections put on me as a child. I mean, shit, I didn't realize how bad my childhood was until I was like over this trauma thing. I'm like, wow, like it's okay to forgive myself for being so fucked up and so upset about things. I mean, how could I not be? I mean, I was blamed for things that, for example, I don't even go there, but I was blamed for things that had nothing to do with me, and I just took the blame because I thought, you know, if my dad were alive, he would have handled it this way, but it's not my responsibility. And I finally learned that just because I can help doesn't mean I should. You know, who am I to take away someone else's adventure or someone else's ability to help someone else? Why am I always taking care of everything? And it was something that I felt was my job. You know, I can help, so let me do it. And I'm abundant enough and wealthy enough and happy enough and healthy enough to do it. And so I'm happy to give, right? So that was the space I was coming from. But just because I can doesn't mean I should. And that's why it didn't always feel right. And as I, you know, slowly kind of accepted the world that I live in. You know, I live in a very mystical world. After my first, and that's why it's not even on my website. I'm going to finally put that on there, but I was so judgy about what I did and fitting in and blah, 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 blah. After I did my first forensics job for law enforcement and, you know, as a working intuitive, I mean, that's something that you don't share with people, but I've been aware of spirits and dead people and things like that since I was a kid, and I always really judged it, and especially with my Catholic upbringing, it was just something wrong and bad, and thank God my dad never judged it, and he accepted me for what I was. And after he passed, I mean, it really, and especially I had to thank Michelle White Dove for helping me make my starseed connections and really amp up my ability to communicate with my dad and my grandmother and other family on the other side, and not just family biologically, but my soul family, which they both are a part of. And yeah, I think worked really hard to build my business, but my big dream, believe it or not, is to write. I'm a fucking writer, and I've been given an opportunity with a publishing company that I've loved and adored my whole life, and I got cut off. But the punchline is I have this huge opportunity in my hands, and I feel like I'm letting it slip away because I'm too busy doing things that aren't as important to me, that don't feed my soul. And I've just, because of all my issues with, you know, and I do take responsibility for my issues. I mean, I've absorbed them and I didn't release them as fast as I could have. But all my issues that had to do with security and, you know, being an adult and, you know, living alone and employing other people and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I've proven that to myself. And stepping away from that doesn't take away who and what I am. So basically, I feel like for the first time in my life, it's like the Selkie who found her fucking skin and went back to the fucking ocean where she belongs. You know, that's how I feel. I think it's time for me to just take, which I've never done and I've been wanting to do forever. It's time for me to take a good, happy 2 weeks to fucking just write and finish this project. And that's that. I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm super happy, super appreciative of all the support and awesomeness, and yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just really excited and really happy, and you know, I think it's just time to do it the right way. The way that feeds my soul, the way that I was meant to run this business and finish this project. So this is what my soul wants, it's what I want, and I'm at this point where I'm like, fuck everything else right now. I need this for me, and I'll be back doing what I do for others, but I think it's me time. You know, I've done everything for everyone else for so long, and you know, it's just time for me. It's a really good time, and I'm finally ready.